Well, General Motors is no exception to advanced computerized cooling systems, of course with electronic module controlled cooling fan. But beyond that, this has got grille louvers to restrict the airflow, to give better aerodynamics as their air is being then pushed down instead of going through the radiator and condenser. But for cooling system purposes, you want those louvers to be open. So like the old school bus covers that covered the grille for better heater performance, but then when it got warm, you had to take those covers off. This is an electronic version of that, working off a LIN bus command from the ECM. So the ECM is here on my scan tool. Your scan tool may be able to also operate Chevrolet Equinox 1.5 is what we're working on right here, the car in your bay. We're going to go into the ECM. That's going to be what's going to control the cooling fans, what's going to control the louvers, and it's going to control something else we're going to find as well. We'll hit enter and we'll go to control functions, bidirectional controls. So again, your scan tool may vary, but this is the factory tool. This is the GM GDS2 software with a Cardac M with a MegaCAN module. For the interface, I could use the MDI as well, but we're going to use the J tool. And we're going to go to the active grille shutter system. And we'll hit that, we'll click on it, hit next, and now we're going to have some data parameters, some temperatures and so forth, so we can actually do this while the engine's running and see if the cooling fans work better to cool that engine down, or just see functionally if these shutters can open and close, which we'll take a little look in with a flashlight and see if they're working. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see what position they are in now. I'm going to take a peek here with my flashlight, and they are closed. So I'm going to open them here. It takes a few seconds, but they open just like a set of blinds in your window. We can close them back again, whatever you wanted to do. So if you wanted to warm it up quicker for like a quicker warm up in the bay, or if you just want to check the operation and see the performance of the cooling system, open versus closed, those are some things you can do. Now, on the topic of bidirectional controls for advanced cooling systems, computerized cooling systems, we'll show you one more thing we can do. We'll back out of this shutter system by my back button here. Here we go. And go to another system. Let's go to the auxiliary coolant pump. Now the auxiliary coolant pump is way behind this engine. You can see it with a flashlight, but sometimes you can't see these things. This is a little tech tip. If you can't find something, give a bidirectional command to it. If it's something that's going to make noise, a solenoid, or in this case, electric pump motor, activate it off and on. Have your buddy do it. Get a mouse if you're using a PC-based scan tool like I am, and just use your sight and your sounds and feel and find where that thing is if you need to replace it or see if the vehicle even has one. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and turn that motor on. And I hear it running. And then we can also watch the cooling system PIDs and see if it responds because this is going to be the auxiliary pump that while the engine is in stop-start mode. Now, the traffic light is going to keep that hot coolant from the block and the radiator and the head moving on through because you don't have an electric coolant pump, electric water pump on this little 1.5 like you do on some Toyotas and other vehicles that are running their entire cooling system with electric pump. I have a mechanical driven water pump. Now I have to have an auxiliary water pump that's been out there for several years on vehicles, and mostly a lot of fancy up-level luxury cars for better cooling system heater performance. In this case, we really need that when we do stop-start and want good cabin heat, replenishing that heater core with nice hot coolant while that engine's sitting still and the mechanical pump's not turning. Well, so you've seen some grille louvers, shutters, move, open, and close. If they don't work, check for physical binding, any kind of contamination, obstacles, obstructions, whatever. And then obviously check your power and ground, followed by the LIN bus action. Make sure you know how to diagnose a LIN bus. The scope is an easy way to do it, but if you have a Fluke 87 and you put it on peak min-max, you can actually capture that 12 to 0 volt swing of a LIN bus. Not that hard and very popular on today's cars. Overheating or under performance of the heater operation are some common signs of stuck open or stuck closed shutter doors.